Shall we start, sir?
Yeah, I am ready, madam.
Okay, sir. Success seems to be connected with action. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. A very good morning to everyone present here. It is our privilege to welcome you all for the 31st section of ATAL Faculty Development Program and Challenges and Opportunity in Execution of Artificial Intelligence for Electric Vehicle Design. Very happy to welcome you all once again for today's section. To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. Now, I would like to introduce our today's chief guest, Dr. Muruganandam Ponnasamy, Professor, Registrar St. Kitts College of Engineering, Kottakulam Hills, Kottayam, Kerala.
Good morning to all. His present, his present role as the Registrar of St. Helens Group of Institutions, India. He is one of the subject expert and resource person of National Board of Association, Upward Graduate Machinery and Plant Mechanical Engineering Chartered Engineer. He is holding 5 Indian Patent Journal applications, which includes improvement of travel and secure IoT device management and eliminating security issues in IoT using blockchain. He mentored more than 75 faculty development programs in outcome-based education. Recipient of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University OBE FDP fundings. Participated in Peace Engineering WEEF GEDC 2018 in New Mexico, USA. Active member in American Society for Engineering Education ASCE. Academic auditor for APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Kerala. Research interest in renewable solar energy resources, autonomous vehicles, and engineering education, addition to the emerging technologies of IoT and blockchain. Acquired international certified career coach level 1 certification from Career Development IM USA. Serving as National Executive Council member for Indian Society for Technical Education ISTE. He is nominated by AICTE India to serve as Margaksh mentor to engineering colleges to streamline the SOPs to acquire NBA. Selected as program evaluator candidate PVC Accreditation of Engineering and Technology ABET, Baltimore, USA. This is the 39th expert talk session in AICTE TYP Faculty Development Program during pandemic period. Now I call upon our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Muruganandam Ponnasamy, Registrar of State Institutions, India, to take over the section on the topic of life simplified with artificial intelligence.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, you are not audible, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Sir, your mic is muted, sir. You can't audible. Hello? Sir, your mic is muted, so we can't able to hear anything.
Muruganandam, sir.
Hello, not audible, sir.
Sir, not audible, sir.
I hope now I am audible.
Yes, sir, now
audible,
you
sir.
are audible. Yeah, now
Right.
it is.
I will say one more time the remaining things. See,
Okay,
the
sure, sir.
fossil fuels contributed to the fast development of the world in building the infrastructure necessary for economical and social development from the energy derived. Man was able to harness, right? Man was able to harness the land Whether my video is running in your slide? Yes. Okay, thank you. So man was able to harness land and seas to the benefit of mankind. But with CO2 emission and greenhouse effect, and as per the several reports of climate change, it became a must to provide clean energy sources by introducing technology in utilizing fossil fuel and looking into alternative sources of energy. When we think of this, when we talk about such kind of alternative sources, when we talk about the reduction in CO2 emission into the environment, we thought of going towards the electric vehicle technology. Still, this electric vehicle technology also having some issues, some relations to the environment. When we talk about this chemical, when we talk about this nuclear, I think one of the person mentioned Saranjeevi BM. My mic is mute. I think now it is audible, right? Okay. So when we talk about this alternative sources, we decided to move towards this electric vehicle technology. When we talk about this electric vehicle technology, it is not purely by electrical engineers or not by mechanical engineers or not even by the computer science engineers, right? Computer technologists, I can say like that. So if you want to reduce the manpower, if you want to reduce the cost, if you want to reduce the time consuming, then we may think of this artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the technology, it is not related with any core branch of engineering. That's what I want to stress among the participants. I am sure most of the participants may belong to electrical engineering or some occasions related to mechanical engineering. Rarely people may related with chemical engineering also. When we talk about this artificial intelligence, we may not omit the topic which is called as machine learning. Before goes to the machine learning, we are talking about this artificial intelligence for the past several decades. I can say several decades. Of course, the terminologies artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, these are all familiar terms for all the people, those who are gathered here, either directly or indirectly in multiple occasions. Right. When we talk about this particular artificial intelligence and when we talk about the subcontinentals of this machine learning, deep learning, etc. things, right? Definitely we are supposed to think beyond our limit. When I say think beyond our limit, these all three terms are mingled or interlinked or correlated each other in many activities. We can say interrelated or we can say in other word, we used to describe or we used to demonstrate the onion diagram. If you are looking at the onion diagram, this artificial intelligence is having the major role, but if you are looking inside in a depth manner, I can say in a mechanical technical term as a micro level analysis, then machine learning will come inside. Similarly, when we look the deep learning process, it will again as a micro level lookings or we can say research. So definitely the interlinking, embedding AI technologies like ML or DL will empower the electric vehicle technology to move forward in a greater way. I am sure most of the people knows well about the definition of these technologies. If you want to describe or define in a way, this artificial technology can be defined like this: a branch of computer science dealing with the simulation of intelligent behavior in computers, or we can say artificial intelligence is defined as the capability of a machine to intimate intelligent human behavior. So when I say human behavior, when we talk about this electric vehicle technology, specifically autonomous vehicles or even EV, we are supposed to imitate the human behavior action. So definitely the artificial intelligence must be implemented in electric vehicle technology and it is unavoidable. When we talk about this, machine learning is a type of AI that provides computers with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. When we talk about this deep learning, part of machine learning field of learning representations of data. It is also a part, but in micro level way. When we go in look of ML algorithms, because all the electric vehicles are required these kind of algorithms. When we go for fixing such kind of machine learning algorithms, it is a type of artificial intelligence that is providing something to the computers with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed, which means it is going to deal with numerous amount of data. When we say data, again, it is not directly related with this electrical people, but it is a technology oriented way. Of course, the data analytics is required in a huge way in this particular area. What is the meaning of data? How we are saying that learned model or machine learning algorithm or trained model, such kind of technical words often used when we talk about these electric vehicles along with artificial intelligence, right? I am sure at least a few of the participants, almost 70 plus participants are gathered here. At least a few of you familiar with Apple iPhone 10 version or more than that. In this Apple iPhone 10 version or more than that versions, we are having a Face ID, right? This is so-called the triumph of machine learning technology. You know the reason behind this? It is keep on updating the data. Here, what is the data? Our eyes, our nose, our face expressions are all converted as a 3D map. In the case of Face ID in the Apple iPhone, and it is keep on updating over the period of particular time till the end of the usage, so that even after 40 years also it is capable of identifying the person in a in a small time period. That's what that particular Face ID of Apple iPhone is claiming as machine learning technologies triumph. As on that date, it is keep on updating. It is keep on making the model as a trained one, so that it is going like that. In other words, we can define the machine learning algorithms as like this. A machine learning algorithm is the method by which the AI system conducts its task, generally predicting output values from given data. Right. So this is what I told. The Apple iPhones 10 version above Face IDs are all claiming that machine learning technologies try. If you are looking the history of artificial intelligence, as I said, the AI is in our place for the past several decades. It started in the year of 1950s. Of course, the deep learning, the subset of ML, machine learning, which makes the computation of multi-layer neural networks feasible, is in our place for the past 2+ decades. Prior to that, we are talking about this machine learning for the past 4+ decades. Of course, the artificial intelligence is with us for the past several decades or for past several generations, I can say. Right. So it is not a new one. It is available, and we are using in a continuous way for the past several decades. When you talk about this machine learning, it is a process oriented. Of course, it is dealt with new amount of data. Generally, the data will be collected as a analog data and it will be converted as a digital in the pre-processing. Of course, it will go and store in some cloud or data center or a server. Then we have to choose a model. There are several models in the machine learning process. I am not going in depth of the models, but we have to choose appropriate one and of course train the model and test the model. Whenever we go for doing the testing, definitely we may find some difficulty. Some modifications are always required. So we will go for tuning the module and finally we are getting the result. That result is not an exact one, but 99.9% the predictions of ML will be in a proper, provided if you are making the machine learning algorithms in a proper way. Right. So this is a basic concept of any type of artificial intelligence or machine learning process. Similarly, when we go for talking about this electric vehicle, actually, electric vehicle is powered by an electric motor rather than a gasoline engine, as we know well. Here we are having this electric motor which is getting power from its controller. Of course, the controller is powered from any array of rechargeable batteries. So here we are supposed to think and talk about this controller, rechargeable batteries, right? And of course, the basic mechanism of any type of car. A quick recall about the electric vehicle history. Again, it is not a new topic. We are having this particular technology right from several centuries back. 1859 itself, we are having this electric vehicle technology. Due to various reasons, we are not continuously used and updated. Of course, there are several variations happened right from 1859 to till the date, which I will show in the next screen. We started with the internal combustion engine, and recently we came up with the battery electric vehicles, so that is BEV, right? And it starts from various ranges. Of course, we Indians always used to ask about the mileage. So, these kind of stages we came over so far. Of course, we had several iterations in these areas, and of course, most of you people might know about these things. Right. If you are split up this particular electric vehicle, we will have lot of components. Of course, you had the past 2 day sessions. I believe that you had something in this. Right. Why this is required? What is the reason for this electric vehicle? The reason for growth, right? We can say the reason the zero emissions, or we can say no fuel. We cannot say no fuel, but less fuel and no emissions. This is the key point that attracts many people to electric cars. If you want to decrease your personal impact on the environment through transport, then an EV is the way forward. The electric engine within an EV operates on a closed circuit. So an electric car does not emit any of the gases often associated with global warming. No petrol or diesel is needed in a fully electric vehicle, which is great for our carbon footprint. Even better, if we charge our electric car at home and our home runs on renewable energy from good energy, then our carbon footprint shrinks, I can say, dramatically. Second thing, the running cost, right? Purchasing a vehicle is not a matter, but what is the running cost? Because we are not paying for petrol or diesel to keep our car running, we can save a lot of money on fuel. By comparison, depending upon the electric vehicle we own and the tariff we are on, a full charge of our electric vehicle could cost us low. With good energies electric vehicle tariff, we could even save a lot. So this is another reason. Third one, low maintenance. When we go for converting the ordinary vehicle into EV vehicle, definitely the maintenance will be low. Why? We all know cars need a bit of TLC from time to time. See, the petrol and diesel engines can require expensive engine maintenance over their lifetimes. Of course, EVs are not. So the maintenance is very less. Then we can say the performance. See, most of the fun of owning a car comes from getting out on the roads and putting it to work. In the past, electric vehicles have not, many have low expectations as to how well an electric car can do with traditional engines. As more manufacturers have piled into the market with their own take on the electric vehicle, the performance level of EVs has now cars are lighter, and as all of their power is generated from a standing start, their acceleration capability can surprise. And the last one, we can say the popularity. If we like to stand out in the crowd, then perhaps knowing that electric cars are becoming increasingly more popular might be a negative for us. But for many It's a huge positive as more EVs find their way onto our roads. We will see the supporting infrastructure expand everything in the coming slides. When we look the negatives, right, the driving range, the term range anxiety is familiar to those who have done their research on electric cars, right? The driving range. The current cohort of EVs are not able to do the sort of long distances that we had get out of a fossil fueled car. But the distance we can travel on a single charge has improved a lot recently and continues to do so, right? If you want to travel to Chennai, then definitely we are supposed to change our battery. So the driving change is a big question mark as on the day, but still it is getting positive way, right? Second one, the recharge time. See, pulling into the motorway service station because our petrol gauge is flashing. At us, refilling and getting on our way again takes all of at least 5 to 10 minutes. It is a convenient process that we are all familiar with, right? Charging electric vehicles, charging EVs does take a longer time. Estimates shows that 80% of EV charges take place on a slow charge at home overnight, which is sufficient for most purposes. Also, many businesses now have electric vehicle charging points in their company car park itself. Of course, the government of India also coming up with a bigger way of implementing such kind of charging stations. We will talk again later. Then the battery life. The EV vehicles are needed of fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, but it is required the battery. If you are looking the battery life, right? A battery is vital to an electric car. That's what we can say. We certainly won't be driving anywhere without a battery, right? The batteries currently in use in EVs have a limited life expectancy. However, and will need to replace every 3 to 10 years. Of course, the participants may accept that. So in that scenario, we are supposed to go for alternative fuels or alternative fuel vehicles, right? Alternative fuel R&D challenges. These are all the things we are supposed to do, right? Here, the topic of the STTP or FDP is mentioned about artificial intelligence in this particular sector, right? How can we correlate those things? When we talk about this alternative energy, I told we are having several things. We are having n number of alternative energies, right? Those are alternative energies can be utilized for the purpose of running the EV. Of course, with the implementation of this artificial intelligence. Okay, right. When we talk about this alternative energy system, we are having several things like renewable energy, energy storage, policy economics, end use of efficiency, fossil nuclear energy. In everywhere, we are creating certain amount of energy, which the energy is utilized for the purpose of charging the batteries in the electric vehicle technology. When we go for charging such kind of way, how we can implement this artificial intelligence? That will be the $1 million question for us. Of course, the battery can be recharged by renewable sources. That might be one, right? So when we talk about this renewable energy, we can have again n number: bioenergy, geothermal, photovoltaics, renewable fuel, solar thermal, wind. Like that, we can list. Of course, we know most of the things which we are using in our day-to-day life. Even Tamil Nadu government also came up with such kind of things. Secondly, this energy storage and modernization, right? Here the things are directly related with the participants. Why it is directly related with the participants? Because the title itself clearly told the challenges and applications of battery electric vehicle system along with artificial intelligence. See, the researchers across globe are seeking new solutions to the challenge of storing and transmitting renewable energy on the electric grid. It is need that a research initiative focused on innovations for the 21st century electric grid. I hope a few of you may doing the research on the smart grid area. Most electricity delivered by utilities is produced at power plants fueled by natural gas, coal, uranium, hydro or geothermal, whichever I spelled out in the previous slide. In the recent years, grid operators have been adding solar and wind generated electricity to the mix. Right. That's what I am saying. Government of Uttar Pradesh came up with the policy in the year of 2018. Similarly, Government of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh came in the year of 2018. Government of Tamil Nadu recently published a policy on the solar as well as renewable energy sources. Of course, Government of Kerala came up with charging stations through KSFE media. So governments are coming up in that scenario. What is the outcome happened from the researchers in our country or in the academic area? Again, we have to self introspect ours. If you are looking at this wind turbines and solar cells, continue generating electricity even when demand is low, right? That will be the major negative in the case of the energy storage and modernization. We cannot store in a huge amount. How we are going to utilize artificial intelligence in those cases? Of course, we may go for thinking about the policy and economics also in the artificial intelligence in electric vehicle technology, because again we have to think of energy market, we have to think of the law, we have to think of the national security and tax regulations, etc. things. We are having a wide scope in this particular area. And of course, when we talk about the end use and efficiency, right, ultimately the users are the public. When we talk about the end use efficiency, again, we can say like this: meeting global energy needs and increasing energy security while reducing the environmental impacts of energy use. Necessities using the energy, we have much more efficiently, right? Research should seek to reduce energy consumption in buildings, transportation, computer, and water systems. Efficient buildings research covers improving lighting, ventilation, heating, cooling. When I say building, again we have to think of in the aspect of electric vehicle car. Inside the car itself, we are supposed to improve lighting, ventilation, heating, cooling in commercial as well as domestic purpose, right? So we are having lot of avenue to execute it. Of course, the fossil and nuclear, most of the people are not accepting, but it is good if you are making the things in a better, possible, and safety way. So when we talk about this fossil nuclear, again we can think of natural gas, CO2 capture, storage, conversion, nuclear, combustion, unconventional, oil and gas, enhanced oil recovery. Like that, we can list. In front of us, we are having numerous number of research avenues in this particular field. That's what I want to stress among the participants, right? When we talk about this environmental impacts, sir, I am not interested in any type of fabrication and other things. I want to rectify the environmental. Again, we are having avenue for research in the case of air quality, climate, integrated modeling, land use, and of course, water. So, if you are talking about environmental impacts, right? Why I am saying this much is we are thinking about implementing artificial intelligence in electric vehicle technology for the purpose of keeping the environment in a best possible safer way. So the energy research always motivated in large part by the need to reduce emissions from burning fossil fuels, the leading cause of climate change as well as air pollution. So are we doing research towards keeping the environment without affecting such kind of pollution? That will be again a bigger or $1 million question. So we are discussing and going to talk a lot of things about artificial intelligence. What is the purpose of discussing about the implementation of artificial intelligence in electric vehicle technology? If you are implementing, what is the gain and how much we are going to rectify the environment? That's what I want to stress, right? I think it's a polling time. Kindly go to mendy.com because my chat box is not enabled. Give the passcode 9711591. You give about a small introduction. Because I didn't know whether the participants belongs to electrical engineer or mechanical engineer or chemical engineer or even computer science engineer. So because of that reason, I made this. Please go to mendy.com. Give me a moment. I will the screen. Go to mendy.com. Because I am not able to share the link in your chat box, so that I am requesting you, please go to mendy.com. Oh. I think my screen is visible to you. Again, the network is very low.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, okay. I thought of sharing the answers, but again. Okay. Let us continue. Right. So why I said this much is we are supposed to look the environment, right? When we talk about the environment, the environmental ethics is a unavoidable thing. When we talk about this environmental ethics, right? It is the thing which we are having for the past several centuries. This environmental ethics is the philosophical discipline that considers the moral and ethical relationship of human beings to the environment. In other words, we can say like this: what if any application does man have to the preservation and care of the non-human world? While ethical issues concerning the environment have been debated for centuries, environmental ethics didn't emerge as a philosophical discipline until the 1970s. It is the emergence was the result of increased awareness of how the rapidly growing world population was impacting the environment as well as the environmental consequences that came with the growing use of, I can say, pesticides, technology, and industry. So when we look of these three terms, pesticides, technology, and industry, this industry and technology can be recovered by us. Why? We are talking about this AI as well as electric vehicle technology. Why I am saying this much is environmental ethics helps the man's moral and ethical obligations towards the environment. But human value become a factor when looking at environmental ethics, right? Human values are the things that are important to individuals that they then use to evaluate actions or events. In other words, humans assign value to certain things and then use the assigned value to make decisions about whether something is correct or not. When we talk about this AI, right, we have to think about our old activities or our current activity too. See, cutting a tree to make a room for a farmland in an undeveloped country like South Africa is not saying that is an against ethical, right? Similarly, burning fossil fuels, if you are looking our country for the past 8 months, the utilization of fossil fuels are drastically less. That's what the survey is saying. Because of that, the sky is kept in clear condition in most of the occasions. But when we go for using in a growing country or a grown country where the burning fossil fuels are much required, whether it is coming under the category of moral or immoral. Similarly, for constructing a dam, hydroelectric dam, by affecting or removing some rare species of fishes is ethical or not. Similarly, mining techniques. These all things can be continued, right? It cannot be stopped. That's what the problem. For our day-to-day life, for the comfortable life, for making more financial thing, we are required to do all these kind of works. Of course, we are not able to stop these kind of activities for the future. Then how we are having a chance to overcome such kind of environmental issues. These are all some environmental issues as on the date. This climate change, pollution, conservation, energy, resource depletion, toxins waste, genetic engineering, intensive. These are all there, right? Of course, the vehicle. When we say the vehicle, the chemical cost. When we say the vehicle, the energy cost. Of course, the mechanical cost. How we are going to overcome these kind of issues in our day-to-day activity. When we go for implementing our AI or artificial intelligence, whether it is possible for us to overcome. Right? This is what the intention of conducting this particular FDP for this many number of participants. When we look about this artificial intelligence in the energy industry alone, right? How will the energy market being managed in the future? That will be the question. It has been over 260 years as on the date, right? Since a bolt of lightning created the spark that brought about the world of electricity as we know it today. Right. Today, the energy market is facing the most dramatic change since its inception. Similar to the seismic shift happening in many other economies, we are moving away from centralized power plants and entering the era of the distributed grid, right? Enabling a peer-to-peer market. These changes require a completely new operating paradigm. When I say new operating paradigm, meet energy artificial intelligence platform for distributed grid management based on artificial intelligence, right? Energy AI profiles each prosumer as chooses automatically and in the real times the most cost effective strategies for using, storing and trading energy, right? When connected together, energy AI agents collaborate to optimize the operation for local grid operator as well as the service operator, or we can say service provider. See, this AI becomes more and more important in the energy industry and is having great potential for the future design of the energy system. Typical areas of applications are electricity trading, smart grids, or the sector coupling of electricity, heat and transport, right? We can list like this. Prerequisites for an increased use of artificial intelligence in the energy system are the digitalization of the energy sector and the correspondingly large set of data that is available. When I say digitalization, when I say large set of data, right? So these are the major sectors: power grid, power consumption, trading, virtual power plant, are few of the things. When we go for making digitalization, right, we are supposed to deal with numerous amount of data. Right. In this situation, in this situation, in these situations, right? When we think about this electric vehicle technology, and if you want to keep the battery management system as a bigger one, right? Then we are supposed to think about this power grid, this artificial intelligence in the power grid. We can say smart grids and sector coupling. In particular, AI is present in the field of intelligent networking of electricity consumers and generators across sector boundaries. With the increasing decentralization and digitalization of the power grid, it is becoming more difficult to manage the large number of grid participants and keep the grid in balanced way. This requires evaluating and analyzing a flood of data. Artificial intelligence helps process this data as quickly and efficiently as possible. Right. So this particular power grid we are supposed to think of it. Right. Second, the smart grids are another area of application. And these networks transport not only electricity but also data in the coming days, especially with an increasing number of volatile power generation plants such as solar and wind, specifically in Tamil Nadu. It is becoming more and more important for power generation to react intelligently to consumption. Of course, vice versa too. AI is helping to evaluate, analyze, and control the data of the various participants like consumers, producers, storage facilities connected to each via the grid. So we are supposed to act in a different way. When I say we are supposed to act in a different way, right? How we are going to act, that will be again another question. How much we are capable of acting in such and such ways. So a particular focus of AI in the energy industry is on the integration of electromobility, right? When I say electromobility, again, one second. Not visible. Give me a moment. Yes. Give me a moment. Okay. Little disconnection in my another system, please. Yeah, another one we can say like this: electromobility. A particular focus of AI in the energy industry, right, is on the integration of electromobility. An increase in e-cars, or we can say e-vehicles, offer opportunities and as well as the challenges. The charging of electric cars must be coordinated, but at the same time, they offer the possibility of storing electricity and stabilizing the grid. For example, by adjusting the charging demand to price signals and availability. This AI can help with all this by monitoring as well as we can say coordinating. In addition, the AI can stabilize the power grid by, for example, detecting anomalies in generation, consumption, or transmission in near real time and then develop suitable solutions. Actually, a lot of researchers are going in this field, such as at the we can say n number of researchers. Further, this AI can help coordinate maintenance work and determine optimal times for the maintenance of networks, or we can say individual systems. This helps minimizing the cost and loss of profit as well as disturbance of the network operations. With the integration of wireless sensor networks and the we can say IoT, the smart grid is being projected as a small we can say like this, right? Projected as a solution for the challenges regarding electricity supply in the coming nearby future. However, the security and privacy issues in the consumption and trading of electricity data pose serious challenges in the adoption of the smart grid. To address these challenges, blockchain technology is being researched for applicability in the smart grid. In many places, of course, the government of India also taken a lead in this particular area. See, the blockchain can be used for peer-to-peer energy trading, where a credit-based payment scheme can enhance the energy trading process. Efficient data aggregation schemes based on the BC technology, BC means blockchain technology, can be used to overcome the challenges related to privacy and security in the grid. Energy distribution systems can also use blockchain to remotely control the energy flow to a particular area by monitoring the usage statistics of that area. Further, blockchain frameworks can also help in the diagnosis and maintenance of smart grid equipment. We will discuss a lot. Similarly, the power consumption, right? When we say power consumption, I think I little gone forward, right? No issue. Similarly, the power consumption also we can talk a lot. However, these particular things always have lot of obstacles as well as criticism. Why? When we talk about or think about or going for implementing, there are some issues. Any artificial intelligence is only as smart as its data. This is one of the biggest sticking point, so that we are having favorable as well as negative way. The topics of data protection and data security are some of the greatest weak points for the use of artificial intelligence. Those who are connected digitally and intelligently reveal a lot about themselves, and the system becomes vulnerable to cyber attacks, right? For example, I can say a real problem which happened in the year of 2018. The German Federal Office for Security observed that the number of cyber attacks on critical infrastructure tripled in comparison to the previous years. We are saying that artificial intelligence implementation in this particular sector will be good, but the cyber attacks are in huge manner. See, the energy supply and the entire energy system are part of this critical infrastructure. This is why cyber security is becoming more and more important today. And in future, in order to protect the highly networked power grid from attacks and data theft from outside. When we talk about the artificial intelligence in electric vehicle technology, we cannot omit these kind of areas. So when I say this much of things, definitely you people will think in different way. When I say different way, you might be in a shocking condition. Sir, I am here to learn something related with artificial intelligence, and electric vehicle technology, but you are talking about different things, specifically the energy resources and the energy storage, energy transmission. How it is correlated with the STTP topic, right? Of course, it is true. But if you want to get succeed in the implementation of artificial intelligence in electric vehicle technology, we are supposed to streamline the energy sources. We are supposed to streamline the energy transfer, energy integration, energy delivery too. So among these participants, I am sure few of you are in the first two, three categories. Shock, denial, frustration category. And some people may say, always people are saying that the negatives, always people are saying that challenges like that you people may have in the depression mode. Or some people may think of experimenting the delivered thing in a better platform. However, a person, an individual should overcome at least these many number of situations. Definitely the person should come over to the level of problem solving or acceptance level. Assume that if any participants are in the situation of shock, denial, anger, definitely you require more amount of information and communication. If you are in the stage of depression, bargaining, you are required more amount of emotional support. Of course, if you are in thorough or if you are in acceptance and problem solving stage, we are required a lot of guidance and direction to make it in a 100% successive way. I just correlate towards the implementation of artificial intelligence in electric vehicle technology that can be divided in these kind of situations. I don't know what level or what situations the participants are being here. However, if you are making in a positive way, definitely we may go forward to make the things in a successive manner. This is the time for second polling. Please go to menti.com and using the code 243-609, you give the answer. The question is like this: in India, how much power production from solar and wind projected in 2029-30 year? I am sure few people may have research in these areas. Just for a relax and refresh the mindset, I made this polling. Let me try to show the results of the polling also. Yes. I think first polling. I think the first poll question I given like this. My graduation is from electrical, mechanical, computer science, electronics, instrumentation, and others. I didn't put the chemical. If those who belongs to that category may put in chemical. Sorry, others category. And the second question I made like this: in India, how much percentage of power production from solar and projected in the year of 2029-30? The answer I given like this: about 15%, about 35%, and about 54%. Maybe my system is slow. I think, okay. So far, four people polled, all the four made us 35%. Okay, friends, please don't go and look Google for answer. This is not university examination. I can do one thing. I can keep open up this poll till end of the day. You can make it. So this what we are having the problem, so that we are going for alternative things. And of course, we are having a lot of fuels, a lot of alternative ways, but it is not. When we think about talking about electric vehicle for the past 9 years, sorry, past 1 decade, the sales are like this. It started from Tesla initially, but still it is dominated by the same company. For the past 10 plus years, there are several researches, several activities happen throughout the world. Of course, in India, we recently started, and the Indian government also decided to move from conventional vehicles to electric vehicles for the coming years. Of course, how it is going to happen, how much we are going to benefit as a researcher or a project creation person, and what field we can go for looking to get success. So those kind of questions again there, let us see. When we look about the projection, because always we are doing this forecastings, projections. When we look the projections of annual global electric vehicle sales, right? Now we are in 2021. As on the date, the number of EVs are very less. It is less than 5 million vehicle sales, annual EV sales. But within the next 20 plus years, it is projected a huge way. And if you are looking the country wise, again, the India is not listed, right? If you are looking in the segment wise, right? If you are looking the segment wise, all the 100% is not going to happen even after 20 years. When I say even after 20 years, we are going to have these conventional vehicle engines. Then how much volume we are going to get is the question. We will have more amount of that. Of course, the buses, the vehicles in low or medium level are not going to convert 100%, but in the heavy vehicle sector, it is going to happen in the major level. That's what the prediction, the forecasting is happening. Several authorized agencies are doing this forecasting. It is swing fit between 100 millions to 600 millions. But if you are looking the overall, it is projected as a 60 million. But how much the CO2 emission is going to happen? It is happened like this, but definitely it is going to reduce in a huge way. Why we are going for this alternative fuel with AI implementation? Again, the question only for the purpose of reducing the CO2. The problem is why we are always intended to think about artificial intelligence, and why we are converting the conventional vehicles into electric vehicles. The reason is major reason is fuel. But the other challenge is like this. If you are looking the world energy production till last year, not last year, last but year, 2019, it was 1,52,000 terawatt hour. Among this 1,52,000 terawatt hour energy production in the global, only very few percentage, say less than 10 percentage produced from renewable energy sources. Remaining are all produced from crude oil or coal. The reason behind saying this matter is even after we converted into electric vehicle as well as artificial intelligence, if you are not utilizing renewable energy sources in a huge way, there is no meaning of converting these things because the pollution will not go for getting decrease. If you are looking the Indian energy production for the last but year, it was only 1,300 and something terawatt hour, which means less than 1% of the global energy production is made in India. But if you are looking the population wise, we are having 1/5 of the population comparing with the world. If all the 138 crore people in India interested to live their life comfortably, luxurious way with all gadgets, right? Then how much energy is required? In that sense, how we are going to produce energy, how we are going to distribute energy, what are the ways for us to save the energy. So these are all open questions for the participants. You please think of it. When I said this last but year, the power energy production in India was 1,300 something. If you are looking the past one decade, there is no much bigger changes, right? If you are looking in the sector wise, if you are looking the renewable energy like solar, wind and hydro, it is having around 20%. Of course, we are having more hydro, but the remaining things are in less. That's what I raised in the poll question. How much we are going to produce energy from solar and wind in the year of 2029 and 30 itself, right? So the prediction is like that even after 10 years, even after one decade, the production of energy from wind and other things will come less only. Of course, solar is showing as 23%, but comparatively that time the population also getting high. Comparatively, the production of energy in the global scenario also going high, right? And the utilization also or the demand also going to be in a higher way. In that scenario, how much we are going to get problem in the environment, right? If you are looking the ministry, they are projected like this. In this current year, the projection of solar production in India is also the same as in the previous years. Not much changes or not much activities are happening in our country, right? If you are looking the world net solar generation, of course, China and India is projected in a higher way for the next 30 years, but as on the date, the things are less. For a comparison, I took the changes occurring in the China is entirely different than any other country. So in that scenario, what we are going to do and how we are going to solve in these things. So we are having awareness, we are having interest, of course we are having the knowledge, right? But we are supposed to increase our ability to convert all these things, and after achieving the ability, we are supposed to keep it in our hand to move forward in a positive way to get success. Since the time limit is very less, I am moving this ADKR. I am not explaining this. Right. When we talk about this vehicle, right, the friction is the problem. Whether it is an electric vehicle or mechanical vehicle, everywhere the friction is the problem, which is consuming more amount of fuel. Right. As on the date, the annual car fuel consumption is 34 exajoules. Exa means 10 to the rise 18. Approximately, we are having 1.4 billion cars in the world. In that sense, how much energy we are wasting, right? So if you are looking in depth how the friction is happening, the 100% fuel is utilized only 5%, the remaining 95% is going as a waste or converted as some other work. So in that scenario, our has to happen in a real way so that we may able to make the things in a positive way. So when you talk about this green tribology in terms of vehicles, right, it is making a lot of effect, a lot of causes, and of course the transportation is having the major role, which is almost we are having 13 percentage of the entire thing. So the reason, the remedial, we are supposed to go for using some energy in terms of solar, wind, hydro, mass, or if you are looking in terms of mechanical in the electric vehicle technology, this self-lubricating materials, biomimetic surfaces, biomimetic things we have to use. Of course, in the chemical, we are going to deal with numerous amount of batteries where we can think of biodegradable, environmental friendly lubricants, coatings, materials. If you are concentrating these areas, then the things will get success. As on the date, if you are looking the charges, we are having this level 1, level 2, as well as DC fast charging. Of course, these are all not giving much beneficial, but the cost is also in multiple ways comparing with the fossil fuel. So we may think of doing something in these particular areas. And of course, India is projected as a large skill labor country in the coming decade. So definitely the job profiles in this specific area like scientific research of batteries, design development, manufacturing, in all those things we are required a lot of skilled as well as semi-skilled people for like chemists, material scientists, engineers, engineering technicians, software developers, industrial designer, assemblers, machinists, etc. thing. In case of infrastructure, because we are having a vast area where we required a lot of battery management system. In that sector, the infrastructure development, vehicle maintenance, of course, the sales and support also having lot of job profiles. Whenever we talk about this artificial intelligence along with electric vehicle technologies, definitely we have to map with human values. There are some agencies in US like ADL, UCS and NBER. They always map these kind of changes with human values. When they made the infrastructure or the industry structure of electric vehicle technology is going to convert like this in a bigger way. Instead of that automotive part supplier, it will be split into material, cell components and the battery area. Of course, the remaining things will be in the same place. Next one, always we will think of this cost of ownership or global warming potential, secondary environmental impacts. Of course, we people are not thinking about this global warming potential and secondary environmental impacts, but all our activities will reflect in these two categories. Instead of that first one, TCO. TCO stands total cost of ownership. If you are looking the electric vehicle technology comparing with internal combustion engine vehicle, of course, the cost, present cost is a huge one. Almost 50% higher in medium sector as well as bigger higher sector, right? In the case of splitting those costs in different sectors like TVC or insurance financing, state fees or R&D, right? Only the battery is having a more cost comparing with the internal combustion vehicle. Other things are all considerably less. Of course, last financial year, Government of India given such kind of tax incentives. We have to go for thinking about battery ownership risks. Transition government fleets can be role model so that people can get more attraction. Of course, people will get business financing, the workforce training. Most of the people are thinking always about if I am getting a problem in my electric vehicle car, who will repair, who will manage, how can I move from that particular point. Of course, all the public vehicles can be converted as a electric vehicle, and the investment from public and private can be entertained in a bigger way. So if you are focusing on results, definitely we won't get change. If you focus on change, definitely we will get change. If you look about the global warming potential comparing with the internal combustion engine vehicle as well as battery electric vehicle, these battery electric vehicles are having almost 1/4 of the less value as on the day. Over the period of time, it will get increased. That's what the researchers are predicting. If you are looking about year wise, first 3 years there will be no much change, but later years, after 3 years, the internal combustion engine vehicles are making more pollution, but this particular electric vehicle technology will reduce such kind of issues. The country like India will have more enjoyable days if you are converting the vehicle system from electric conventional vehicle to electric vehicle, right? Since there is no not available, I am keeping this global warming thing. So as an academician, we are often hearing this term Bloom's taxonomy. So if you are making this electric vehicle technology with the implementation of artificial intelligence too, then the life will be simplified for the citizens of the world. Of course, the days of life impact comparing with the internal combustion engine vehicle and battery engine vehicle, battery electric vehicle is having multiple times, multiple times. So the forecast key specifications towards EVs for the next 5 years in case of battery size, in case of driving range, in case of efficiency, right? Comparing with the internal combustion engine vehicle MPG is always in a positive way, right? As a summary, when we look true cost value or TCO, thousands of dollars, since it is surveyed by US people, it is mentioned like this, right? The type comparing with the next 5 years with the past 5 years is showing as a positive way. Major startups in India also already started. This ATAL Energy, Yulu, of course, the small based in Delhi, E-Trio are all doing well. Whoever is interested to do research or project in this segment may approach these startups, and they are very much helpful. Many of our students also carrying out. So in future, the future of mobility promises to be silent, efficient, and much better for our environment. So all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. As Walt Disney mentioned, let us do the things well so that we can go for making the things in a positive, best way. Most often we hear this particular term SWOT analysis, but I am sure none of us are having a white paper related with this particular artificial intelligence and electric vehicle technology SWOT analysis. Sir, I am interested to do some research in AI as well as EV. If you are claiming so, please make a white paper of your own SWOT analysis. So if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. If you don't attack the risk will attack you. Nothing gets done till nothing gets done. My friends, I failed to find a product which is having higher cost, higher quality, lower investment and long-term life. Higher quality, low cost and long-term life. But this AI implemented electric vehicle technology is giving me a courage to say that a product in this world is available with higher quality, low cost and long-term life. So let us hope the coming days we people will do a lot in this particular specific area. Before wind up, I want to share my career philosophy that I always want to transform student engineers into practicing engineers. Family first, student always. Ethics and environment is my family, right? So if you are interested to do any collaborative research in this specific field, right? Give me a minute of time, coordinator. I can end up within next 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, anyhow. Give me a moment. Oh, okay. I cannot share. Okay. I will share this PPT as well as the Mendy questionnaire to you. So with this, I can go for winding up since the time is very less. So these are all the few references which I referred for today's discussion. You can also read it when you are interested. If you want to make any offline question or online questions or collaborative research with my institute or with me or with the host institute, please make contact in the mentioned contact details on the screen. Thank you for your patient listening. Sorry for the interruption. My system is also slow and the things are not connected well today. Thank you for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Sir, please send the PPT, sir. If it's
I will share
possible.
the PPT to the coordinator. Coordinator will forward the PPT to the participant.
Actually, it's not
If you
very.
are interested to, yes, sir, please. I didn't hear the person.
The coordinator will share the presentation to participants
Thank
in the
you.
evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, madam, excuse me, sir. Hello? Coordinator,
Yes,
please.
sir.
Sir, please, may be possible to send to or a recording is there, no, sir, in section, particular section.
Recording video will be available with the coordinator as well as AICT ATAL website.
Okay, sir.
The PPT in read-only mode will be shared by me to the coordinator and further it will be forwarded, shared with the participants.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
If the participants wants to make collaborative research, since I am not able to share the link for making collaborative research in the chat box, you can contact me over the contact details which I shared on the screen. Otherwise, the last slide. Okay. Any other
Excuse me,
questions?
sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, you can share the link with us, sir. We will share to the participants, sir. It will be easy for us. I will put the link in the chat box. You can share me the link in the through the message, sir. I will share it in the chat box if it is possible.
Yeah, but it will take 1 minute. Can you wait 1 minute?
No problem, sir.
Okay. Give me a moment. I will.
This is Sri Vidya, one of the coordinators, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, will have instruction to the participants.
Yes, madam. Tell me, madam.
Thank you, sir. Participants, you can itself download your video from the Microsoft Teams itself. It will be available for 20 days. You can directly download it in your desktop.
20 days or 20 minutes, madam?
20 days.
20
It will
days.
be
Okay,
available for 20 days. You can download the presentation by yourself.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Yes, I have sent to the coordinator, Professor Satya Priya, as mail Mentimeter docs. In that last one mentioned as collaborative research, and I hope God. You got it, Professor?
Yes, sir. I'm downloading, sir. Few minutes.
Okay.
Our coordinator Satyapriya ma'am will send the link within few minutes. Thank you, sir, for your informative and interactive speech, sir. Now I call upon our coordinator, Dr. D. Srividya, Associate Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, K.S.Rangasamy College of Technology to deliver the vote of thanks.
Hello. This is Srividya, the coordinator, sir. Hello.
Hello, madam. How to
Hello, sir. Is it voice clear, sir?
and how to download the video, madam?
Sir, you can go inside the link we are given. You go into the Microsoft Teams with the participant. I will explain you later, sir. Uh, it's my immense pleasure to do a vote of thanks to such a honorable person. Uh, thank you for this immense presentation, sir. It's indeed a great honor and privilege to express the vote of thanks on this most honorable occasion. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable and informative speech. It was indeed a great speech that sparked the simplicity with artificial intelligence. Really, the session was fruitful and engaging. Thank you once again, sir. It's our pleasure to thank everyone for this creation event. Thank you very much, sir. Have for having such a speaker who is also willing to share his research. We will definitely contact you for your research. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Finally, it's our pleasure and privilege to thank our participants for gracing this session. The next session will start by 11:45 a.m. Participants are requested to join the session 5 minutes earlier. Uh, the link is shared in Teams. Participant, you can download it. Officially, the session winds up. Thank you all.